So I wanted to talk about this idea of healing is your gift and where it all came from. And I think I just had a realization, sort of like an epiphany myself, of a deeper understanding myself of where this has come from. So for me, it's the idea of healing me is my gift. And I'm going to tell it in stories. So the way it first came about was I had left a job that maybe, I think it was about 3 years ago now, maybe 2015, I left the job. And I left, and the year following, I was not working. And I had a lot of time to process what I'd been through with this job and some of the challenges with it and the ways in which I needed to heal. And I was really struggling with my own identity and with who I was and where I would go now once I was done this job, and who, now that I wasn't identified and attached to this job and this position anymore, who was I? And it was the first time I felt like in my adult life, my life, I think at all, that I really had to face this question. And it was kind of like a quarter life crisis, I guess you could call, sort of. And so having to face, who is Claire now? There were deep stirrings within me, deep desires to be something, but I had no confidence. It felt like my confidence had been stripped away from me post leaving this job. And so I really struggled. It was a very difficult year for me, very dark, a lot of introspection, times that I didn't want introspection. I resisted it a lot. And maybe about 9 months into that year, I had a total epiphany that just like they come to me just like walking down the street. There's no really rhyme or reason behind them. They just come. And I think I was at home, and I was really, like I said, what's my purpose? That question was kind of like my mantra, but frustrating mantra in my head, like kind of like a hamster wheel in my head. What's my purpose? What am I doing? What am I doing? I don't know. I'd come up against this all the time. And I came to this notion, and it just came to me as if a voice was speaking in the back of my head saying, well, your gifts, like what's my purpose? What's my gift? My gift is my healing, is my ability to heal myself. And it felt so clear and so right and so simple. And I think the simplicity of it was what I really loved, because I think I had spent so much of that year in this hamster wheel, in this mind trap, in overcomplicating things and trying to figure it all out with coaching, with a yoga teacher training, with travel, with mind maps, with vision boards, with you name it, that it really was just about getting silent and still and saying, let's just quietly sit down and quiet. I wasn't even in meditation. I was just quietly asking myself the question at home. What's my gift? Let's just see what the universe has to say about this. Let's just put it out there in my mind. What's my gift? What about healing being your gift? And it almost came back to me as a question, I think. And I can't remember it entirely clearly, but I just know that message came back. And it was such an aha moment that it doesn't have to be this big thing. And purpose can be, it's big, but it might not be shiny and glamorous the way we think that purpose looks. And a vision for something might not be so shiny and glamorous. It might be something really simple that you never looked at and is staring at you in your face all the time. And for me, at that time and to this day, it really resonates. And I think part of me almost still didn't know to this day why that resonated. It just felt really good to know that my ability to heal my own wounds, my ability to go inwards, is what I'm really freaking good at. And I, not only because I believe that, I also have friends that have reiterated that back to me, saying, God, like, you're really good at taking care of yourself, and you're really good at eating well, and and tuning in, and the wisdom that comes out of you and your perspective on things. And I'm getting that feedback right now as I'm like grieving the death of my mother. People are saying, like, you're good. And I'm not always good. Like, I think it's really also important to mention right now, like in these videos, I might seem good and I might seem really collected and calm. But these videos obviously don't show another side where I'm not so good. And I want to put that out there that, like, grief doesn't always look like this. I also think I look really tired right now. I was in a yoga teacher training all weekend. But beyond that, grief doesn't always look calm and collected. In fact, it rarely ever does. But it looks different on everyone, I would say, actually. I should put that out there. Sometimes it looks like this, and sometimes it doesn't. But I'm pretty good at going inwards and understanding my own ability to heal. Today, my revelation was there's a reason for that, though. And there's a process that got me here. And I thought about someone in my life, and I've had many guides, both seen and unseen, in this realm, and I believe other realms. And in this realm, I've had a lot. One in particular stands out, and her name is Jeanette Wayne. And many of you might know her, who are my friends or family. Jeanette was responsible for healing both my parents when they were very ill. My parents have both passed now, but of cancer. But Jeanette was there to help improve their quality of life, create an entire nutrition and holistic healing program for them, including mainly like supplements and herbs and things like that, and then dietary and lifestyle recommendations, as well as providing other healing modalities. And she's incredible. She's an incredible spiritual intuitive healer, and she's also a very good friend of mine. And one of the things that Jeanette has taught me and teaches, if any of you know her and you've ever been her client, and I encourage you to, this is for sure putting it out there for Jeanette, and not just, it's not a Jeanette Wayne advertisement, it just really is. I really encourage you to see her if you, especially when you live in Toronto or Ontario. You're lucky, because you should go see her and find her. But one of the things she's really all about, her MO and her practice, is teaching people to be their own, to a degree, but teaching people to be like their own. And the word that came to me, and I don't even know if it's a word, is empowerer. Your own empowerer. We hear that word so much, empower. I'm a woman's empowerment coach, or I empower people. It's like, I don't like to see myself as someone who empowers other people. I'm, like we discussed this in my yoga teacher training today, I'm a facilitator, and I'm a guide for your healing, because you're the healer and you know how to do it best, and your body knows best. Whether you know that now or not, you do. And that's a really big proponent of what Jeanette practices and teaches in her clinic, is, well, what did you feel? What kinds of things do you feel? Again, I think this is coming up for me because this is something that came up in our yoga teacher training this weekend when we were talking about injury and pathophysiology, is this idea of like different kinds of pain, or when you do a movement, or when you have an injury, what kinds of movements feel good in your body and what kinds of movements don't, and the kinds of questions we ask our clients when they have pain or injury. And the biggest takeaway, for one of the biggest takeaways from this weekend with this particular class, was to be curious about pain. And we can be curious about our physical pain, but I also realize it's also being curious about any kind of pain at all. And for me, that's like a huge lesson in my life right now, to be curious about my pain, because that is not an easy one for me to do right now. Sometimes I'm really, really pissed off at pain and suffering, and I feel like I don't deserve it, and I'm a victim, and, it's a long story, but to be curious about any kind of pain is a really beautiful way to live your life, and I think that's what Jeanette teaches. And so that's the proponent behind Healing is Your Gift, is becoming curious with your own body, your own mind, your own spirit, that you are your own healer, And that is like one of the best ways to live your life. And so over the years, I've become really good at this. If there's one skill I've really developed, I'd say since I've seen her since 2011, 7 years ago, is I know how to really learn how to be my own inspirer, own empowerer, my own mini leader. I always, I said to my therapist years ago, inspire yourself, and I was telling her about something that had come to me, this idea of inspiring myself, because we live in a world where we often put a lot of emphasis on the material, on the thing around us that's going to give us pleasure, the material objects, traveling, whatever is outside of us, but really like going inwards is a very powerful thing. And so how can we be our own inspiration, our own healer, is a beautiful thing. And I've done that through learning about Chinese medicine. And I don't want to take away from the fact that you do need experts. And to just like go and self-diagnose is not recommended at all, necessarily. Like go and see, go get the x-ray, go to the doctor, go to the healer, go to the person you trust the most. Obviously, if it's like something that you really is mysterious for you and you're struggling with, we don't want to be going on to Google and things like that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying more, there comes a time and a place, more often than not, as you tune this skill and hone this skill, that you can tune into your own intuition. And like I've been talking about in these other videos, awareness around your own empathy and what it means to, oh, I just took on someone's stuff and that's not mine. That's what it means for healing to be your gift. Honing in on your skills is your gift. Your intuition is your gift. Your ability to say, no, that's not mine, that's theirs, is your gift. All those things. And so that's the proponent. That's what's behind what I teach in these videos, what healing is your gift and my accounts are all about, and what I try to promote as much as possible, is this idea of being your own best friend and your own healer. And one last story to end off with. My mom, since I was, I don't know, I gotta say, probably 10, 9, like young girl, I've always been really good at enjoying life and enjoying leisure. And my mom would always say that if you want to find someone who loves to hang out and relax and enjoy leisure and chill, it's Claire. And I've always been really good at finding those things for myself, whether it's a good book, whether it's a really comfy night in with a great movie, great, rich, delicious food, indulging myself. I'm really good at indulging myself and being my own best friend and being in my own company. And I learned that just through my own self. My mom was also very good at this as well. Me, myself, and I, we always said, and we were both really into that. So it's something that I think has been in me since I was a little person, a little human. And it's something that I'm just so passionate about. And it's my MO, it's my raison d'être. And it's the thing that I want to keep encouraging you all to do. From my heart to yours in Toronto, through this video, through Instagram, through Facebook, through YouTube, wherever this goes out. I'd love for you to reflect on the ways that you can be your own healer, where you can find your own inner gift and your own inner jewel in your own healing. Blessed everybody. Have a beautiful Wednesday and a beautiful rest of the week. Thank you.